What if I told you that the newest character, Ineffa, could completely change how you play with some of your favorite teams, and even shake up the meta for upcoming characters like Flins? We're diving deep into all my testing to help you figure out if Ineffa is a must-have for your roster and how to get the most out of her. So, Ineffa just landed with version 5.8, and I've put her through her paces on all the most relevant teams to see if she's actually an upgrade for any of your current characters. But here's the real kicker. She's a Nod Krai character, released even before the region itself, and she's looking like she might be a best-in-slot for Flins, one of the most anticipated characters we've been waiting for. Out of Primogems? Don't worry, I've got a way to save money and get double the Genesis crystals. This is lootbar.gg. It works just like the in-game top-up system, but with up to 25% off, and new users even get a 10% extra discount using the link in the pinned comment. See this? The regular $100 pack only costs $85 on Lootbar, and each update they release an exclusive $77 bundle available for your first purchase every version. All you need is your UID, no password, no login. Just pick your bundle, select your server, enter your UID, and your crystals get delivered in seconds. Lootbar has awesome reviews. It's fast, secure, and trusted by tons of players. If you're planning to recharge for Genshin Impact, Star Rail, or Wuthering Waves, don't waste your money. Click the link in the description or pinned comment and top up now with Lootbar. Safe, fast, and way more affordable. I know what's probably on everyone's mind. Is she absolutely essential for Flins? Do you need her? When it comes to Flins, it looks like we have a situation very similar to Escoffier and Skirk. He needs Ineffa to fully activate his passive, mainly because the artifact set isn't for 1 or 2 Nod Krai characters. It actually requires 2 or 3, which, honestly, is really, really bad. I'm probably going to make a whole video just ranting about this because it severely restricts team building and just makes things so much harder. For Flins, this completely limits his team compositions. He essentially has one truly good team, and that's Aino, Ineffa, and then a flex slot. But you absolutely have to run both Aino and Ineffa, otherwise you're missing out on that crucial passive. If you don't run Ineffa, you're losing out on 30% crit rate, 10% lunar reaction damage, another 10% lunar reaction damage, and 120 elemental mastery. That's an insane amount of stats to miss. Imagine a character that buffs 30% crit rate, 120 EM, and 20% lunar reaction damage. That's a cracked kit right there. And that's essentially what happens when Ineffa is on Flins' team. Not only that, Ineffa also deals a ton of lunar charge damage, provides electro resonance, and so on. Overall, this team, with C2 Aino, Ineffa, and Sucrose, is getting around 104,000 DPS. So if you're planning on getting Flins, I highly recommend getting Ineffa. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. I don't like it. Hopefully they change it, but for now, that's the reality. I can see Ineffa still being a valuable part of Nod Krai teams, just because she's a Nod Krai character, and she's going to activate this powerful artifact set synergy. And honestly, I really don't like the direction Genshin is taking with this. I have no idea how many 4-star Nod Krai characters we're even going to get. It's similar to how things were with Natlan, but even worse, because with Natlan, the requirement was simple. You just needed a Natlan character. As long as the character was from Natlan, that was enough to meet the condition. Easy. But with Nod Krai, you're being forced to build teams where 3 out of your 4 characters have to be from Nod Krai just to activate these new mechanics. It feels like the game is saying, hope you didn't want to keep using your old characters. Now you have to build entire teams from this one new region. Come on. Hopefully that gets changed or adjusted in the future. Now, if you plan to pull for Ineffa, here is a quick guide to get the most out of its potential. Ineffa's abilities really center around her elemental skill, Cleaning Mode, Carrier Frequency. This skill summons Birgitta, a mechanical companion that applies off-field electro damage and creates a powerful, attack-scaling shield. When she uses her burst, Supreme Instruction, Cyclonic Exterminator, it refreshes Birgitta's duration and gives your entire team an elemental mastery boost based on Ineffa's attack stat. What truly makes her unique, and what many of us have heard about, is her new and improved Lunar Charged reaction. This reaction deals 40% more damage, can crit, and increases her shield uptime every time it's triggered. When you see her in action, Birgitta is constantly zapping enemies while the shield soaks up damage. It's truly a tanky and dangerous combination, whether Ineffa is on or off the field. For her talents, you'll want to prioritize her elemental skill first, then her burst, and finally her normal attacks. This is because most of her strength comes from those reactions, not her raw hits. When it comes to weapons, her best in-slot option is Fractured Halo. It offers a high base attack, a significant 66.2% crit damage bonus, and a passive that boosts both her attack and team-wide lunar charged damage when she generates a shield. But don't worry if you haven't managed to pull it. Alternatives like Staff of the Scarlet Sands, Calamity Queller, or Symphonist of Sense still provide high crit or elemental mastery stats that work incredibly well with her kit. Even for free-to-play players, spears like Deathmatch, Ballad of the Fjords, and Missive Windspear suit her off-field role perfectly. Now let's talk about artifacts. Ineffa really thrives with a mix of attack percent and elemental mastery, as both stats scale her shields and her new reaction. Ideally, you'll want to aim for the 4-piece Gilded Dreams set. This set provides elemental mastery and intelligently flexes to either extra elemental mastery or attack, depending on your team's elemental composition. However, if you're looking to boost her shield strength and overall team support, the 4-piece Tenacity of the Millilith set is also a great option. Until Nod Krai brings more specialized sets, mixing 2-piece attack percent and 2-piece elemental mastery, or combining Gilded with Tenacity, is totally viable. For main stats, prioritize attack percent or elemental mastery on both the Sands and Goblet, and crit rate or crit damage on the Circlet. For substats, focus on crit, attack percent, elemental mastery, and finally prioritize energy recharge if needed. Playing Ineffa effectively is quite straightforward. A solid rotation involves using her skill, then her burst, and then switching to your main DPS. With Hydro support active, Birgitta will constantly trigger lunar charged off-field, giving you consistent shield refreshes and keeping her burst up more often. This happens because lunar charge triggers when Electro and Hydro meet within her aura. Unlike the standard electro-charged reaction, this version can crit and scales off elemental mastery, making it far more potent for both damage and shield uptime. Ineffa also brings some fantastic synergy options for team compositions. For instance, a Nuvolette hypercarry comp with Ineffa, Kazuha, or Sucrose, and Farina makes for explosive lunar charge damage as elemental mastery and hydro buffs stack beautifully. If you're looking for an off-field electro setup, like a taser team, pairing Ineffa with Clorinde, plus Farina and Xingqiu, gives you steady reactions even without top-tier investment. She also fits well into Quicken and Hyperbloom comps with Clorinde as your DPS, alongside Nahida and Xingqiu. This way, you get both Dendro-related reactions and off-field lunar charged from Ineffa. Some players even suggest a Furina, Ineffa, Raiden core as a solid Tier 2 option if you don't have Nuvolette and his companions. Of course, Constellations elevate her even more. At C1, she gains a second skill charge, plus a 25% damage bonus for Birgitta and a 15% shield strength increase, which boosts both her uptime and durability. Then, C2 adds Area of Effect Electro after her burst and provides your team with a shield, making her even better in AoE fights. C3 boosts her skill level for stronger shields, and C4 generates energy from lunar-charged reactions, though this can sometimes be unnecessary if you're already running energy recharge supports. C5 extends her burst and elemental mastery buff duration, but the real game-changer is C6. This unlocks bonus AoE lunar charge triggers every few seconds while off-field, stacking extra damage and significantly empowering team reactions. Overall, her constellations are designed for reaction-heavy teams, especially those that rely on off-field reaction damage. So right now, Ineffa is looking like a must-pull for Flins. And yeah, that's what's up. Let me know your thoughts. Are you pulling for Ineffa? And if you found this video helpful, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're always here to help you navigate the ever-changing world of Genshin Impact. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.